Okay, so let me just ask the technology department. I can hear the echo. We're good, right? And that's on? Alrighty, it is 7 o'clock. I'd like to call to order a regular meeting of the Brookfield Inland Wetlands Commission. Today is Monday, the 12th of June, 2023. My name is Sharon Fox. I act as chair of the commission. With me to my left, Mr. Dave Frankel, who is a regular member. To my right, Mr. Bob Hudeman, who is the commission secretary. We are three of us, so we have a quorum, and all three of us will be voting members this evening. Also with us further on the left here is our recording secretary, Cassandra Varian. Further to the end there is one of our support team from the land use office, Christine Murphy. We expect at some point, because there's two meetings tonight, one for ZBA and then this one, that the town's new land use office manager, Laura Barkowski, will be joining us. She is sort of tag teaming from one meeting to the other, so when she joins us, we will try and make note of that. Now we can go on, Inland Wetlands Officers Report. I will do my best here. 7:31, we did see the two inspections and everything looks great, so thank you very, very, very much. Just a note, I'm going to ask the land use office, the property just to the south of that, it's sort of interrelated. I think it's 701 Federal.
Yeah.
I think we also appointed a monitoring agent on that.
I don't think we did.
Okay, well, let me check, because I thought we did, but I'll check, because some things have happened. So we'll check, and if we have, then we shall ask the same group that's monitoring 731 to do 701, but we'll check, Michelle. Okay, we'll check. 100 Candlewood Lake Road. Again, we are awaiting the reports that were a part of the approval for the school project. We've noticed Paul Checo, who has the point of contact for the town. He's on the municipal building committee, so we still don't have any. So we have no idea what's going on with the wetlands creation. We have no understanding of what's going on with the wetlands remediation on that site, which is a grave disappointment to us. To me, I don't know if I'll ask.
I'll second that.
Okay, so I just, because it's an important project, and it's puzzling why the town and its agents are not doing what every other commercial property does in Brookfield. Let's see, 23 Grays Bridge Road. I don't remember this one. I remember it had to do with the berm, and maybe that berm being breached. Yeah, but I haven't gone out to see it, but we have to go back and look at the minutes. But I think the conversation was that berm was occasionally being breached. So I don't know why it's, oh, no, excuse me, forget what I just said. This is 23 Grays Bridge Road. Yeah, it is approved, and they are providing the site reports per their approved permit.
Right.
So, and everything looks fine there. So, again, it's not an enforcement issue. That was a mind check for me. So that's all active sites. So enforcement. 35 Merwin Brook Road. Again, the way we left it, the previous wetlands enforcement officer was going to send out the updated notice of violation for that, so that will enable us to then start the fines of $250 a day. So when I have a chance to speak with Laura, I will bring her up to speed. We'll go over that paperwork and get moving on that, because that is another grave disappointment to me, an individual clear cut a lot all the way down to a stream. And what we're looking for right now is a remediation plan, which we understood was verbally promised the 1st of May, and it is now the 12th of June, and we don't have anything. And the commission was very supportive of setting fines. So that's where that one stands. 6 Deerfield Road. 6 Deerfield Road.
Yes. So this is on the,
Right.
business as
Yeah,
well.
so, yeah, I think, yes, thank you. I'm just refreshing my memory. We have the plan. I think you're on as old business? C? So why don't we do that right now and take care of that and get you out of here? So I'll make a motion that we go to 6 Deerfield Road.
I'll second.
Okay. Dave seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Okay, so where we left this, it was just, I think, a matter, we had updated the map.
I think we were looking for some verbiage on what that limitation of deposition would be with relationship to the upland review area.
Yeah, I think we were trying to come up with, some language, well, I would probably say some definitive. Yeah, definitive language on, we're gonna do that. So this is the top of the slope. So I think it's just a matter of saying, well, this will be the map, we can approve this map, and we will put here stipulation that nothing can be deposited, where's north? Down slope of the blue, of the top of the slope
Mhm.
as defined by the blue line. So the blue highlight. I think that's it, right, guys?
I think that was it.
Yeah. All right. All right. Can you get me the approval while I make the motion? That little stamp? I'll do it if you want.
No, you wanna make a motion to approve this?
Yeah, you wanna do it, or I'll do
Yeah,
it?
no, I'll make a motion. I'd like to make a motion that we approve, application, W 2320 with all the modifications.
Well, 6 Deerfield Road.
On
Yeah.
6 Deerfield Road,
Yeah, with the, on a, sort of, on a map
dated,
dated,
May 15, 2023, with all the changes with the blue lines.
and the highlighting area, the stipulation that nothing can be deposited downslope of that blue line.
Okay, there you
With
got it.
all, again, with all the normal stipulations on an approval. Okay. Dave seconds?
Why not?
Why
I'll
not?
second.
All right, any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. All right, you're all
You're all
set.
set.
Okay?
So now that we've approved that, can we discussion? Has
Yeah,
the-
now
has
we're
the
gonna do-
town of-
we're
Has
go-
the town of Brookfield or the state of Connecticut changed their position on wetlands per the Supreme Court ruling in Arizona?
I cannot tell you because I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
anything about anything.
So in Arizona, a gentleman was depositing fill in a wetland. The state of Arizona charged him something ridiculous, $45,000 a day until he cleaned it up. Went all the way to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court overruled the 1973 President Nixon. Are you familiar? Anybody familiar?
It was the Clean Water Act.
Clean Water Act of '73, yes. Supreme Court said, no, only open waterways are considered wetlands.
Yeah, that is, on that point, I cannot speak to what the Supreme Court, what you just quoted, but I can tell you the state of Connecticut has a law that wetlands are defined by water courses and soil types.
Soil, okay.
Yeah, so,
So state of Connecticut and the town of Brookfield
The-
has not changed their position.
Well, we
I-
abide
wait,
by the state of Connecticut.
yeah,
so-
that's what I can tell you, that the
Yeah.
Wetlands Commission abides by the state of Connecticut, aligns with the state of Connecticut's definitions of wetlands. Okay.
Thank you.
You're
We
welcome.
don't make up our own rules. That's
Well,
what it is.
well,
Nor
we
should you,
we align with them. There are
Yeah.
some things that are
Yeah,
specific
yeah.
to Brookfield, but the definition, we cannot change. Okay? All right, so I'm gonna make another motion, let's see, and that is to remove the notice of violation for 6 Deerfield Road for compliance as defined by the plan approved for application number W-23-20.
I second that.
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
All right, so now, so I've got one more, but we don't have anybody to talk to. Okay, well, next on our agenda we have is a public hearing. We're gonna handle that public hearing after we complete old business and new business.
Yeah. Good.
So next we have on old business, it is Candlewood Lake Road. It is the school project. This is another thread that is open on that application. Again, in the letter that the commission sent to Mr. Checo back on March 28th, we asked for clarification about a shortfall of a wetlands creation of approximately 700 and some odd square feet. And we do not have that, and also want to make note that we need to get that resolved, because eventually that school is going to need a certificate of occupancy, which requires a wetlands sign-off. And until we understand what's going on here, it will be not possible for the wetlands to sign off on that project. And we don't want that. That's why we sent the letter back in March. All right, I'll make a motion then to continue, unless any other,
No, I second.
Yeah, we have this twice on the agenda.
no, we
too.
don't. There's two, we do, because there's 2 threads.
Right.
One is reports, and one is condition of approval.
So which one is, okay,
Up
so,
on the top, it's reports,
okay.
okay?
Mhm.
And the bottom is the condition of approval, so you're correct. It's on there twice because there's 2 open items.
Mhm.
Any other comments? Otherwise, I'll make a motion, we'll continue this. Make a motion to continue 100 Candlewood Lake Road, it's, activity W-20-24 to our next regularly scheduled meeting.
Second that.
Okay. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Okay, we're on to 25 Yankee Drive. Okay. Ms. Hammersley, I heard that we got the application updated with some numbers. Sound familiar? Yes. Yeah, we needed to get numbers on it. We needed to know, we can't just say as before when we didn't know the as before, remember? So, let's take a look at what we got here. Okay, here we go. So disturbed wetland area, 100 square feet, that's about the,
Driving the
yeah,
culvert.
about the
Yeah, I
driveway
remember
culvert,
yeah.
that seems about right. Total wetland, that can be all right, same as before. Disturbed linear feet of water course, 25 linear feet. That's fine, great, thank you very, very much. All right, so let's, I think when we approve it, we want to incorporate these, this construction sequence. And we have a map here, which does not have a date on it.
I think it was
see a date?
right over there, that was the.
Yeah, do you see a date on this though, Dave? Oh, date printed, here we go. All right. So I think if we approve this, with this map, incorporate these
Mhm.
with all the
Usual.
usual stipulations, I think we're in business.
All right,
You wanna do it?
all right. We need to see the.
Yeah. This and that one.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we approve W-23-16/25 Yankee Drive, with the following stipulations.
Well, I would say just to incorporate, I
to
would
incorporate.
incorporate the construction sequence dated November 10th and updated,
April 24th, 2023. Okay, and
as
then
defined on a map.
as defined on a map dated April 21st, 2023,
With all the
with all the usual stipulations.
Great, thank you. Dave seconds.
I'll second.
I think we got everything.
Yeah, it was just the square footage.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so, any other discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous.
You're in business.
You're in business, as we say. You'll get a letter eventually, but you're in business. Okay, good luck with it.
So the contractor can start whenever now, or do we have to wait for that letter?
No, it's effective now. You can start tomorrow.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Okay, yep, good luck.
You say start at your own discretion, because we have to do the legal, and they have 14 days to contest, but
Okay,
15 days.
Yeah.
all right, thank you.
Wait.
All right, so that is that. Oh, look at this.
Wanna pass that one over?
Yep,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, so we did 6 Deerfield. All right, so we've got 126 North Lake Shore. So we just got some new information. I think this was a matter of just getting the map complete. So we got a letter from Mr. Gallagher dated today, June 12th. Purpose of the letter, respond to specific questions. So the commission asked for the 440 line to be highlighted, the revised plan. We'll take a look at that. The leader drains are now connected to the new dwelling. The leader drains, are now connected to the new dwelling. Remember they just were there and they didn't go anywhere?
Right.
And are shown entering the 2,500 gallon tank, and the 2 existing leach fields are proposed to disperse. Oh, so they're just reusing the septic tank, are proposed to disperse the rainfall of 3 inches or more.
Okay.
Let me just look. The existing leaching fields are proposed to disturb the rainfall of 3 inches or 2,600 square feet times a quarter of a foot. Okay, there's the 3 inches, to 650 cubic feet. The fields drain at 1 inch in 20 minutes, 4 times a day. 110 feet of fields, 4 feet wide, 1.5 deep. You know what point four voids means, Bob?
Hmm?
Do you know what this means? 0.4 voids?
Or show me where you took it.
Right here.
It means emptying, I think.
1.5 inches deep by void.
I've never seen that before.
Don't know what that is.
I don't either.
See, 460.
I think it
By 4
pertains to
feet.
draining.
What did it say?
It just says, the fields drain at 1 inch per 20 minutes, 4
It's
times a
number
day.
3 on there.
110 fields, 4 feet wide, 1.5 feet deep, 0.4 voids?
So what they're doing is they're taking.
Oh, just for the record, just,
sorry,
yeah.
Michelle Morris from
Who is our, who is at this moment the commission's technical expert.
So you take credit for the stone, but you don't wanna take credit for 100% of the stone. So
Okay.
they're only taking 40%, which is of the voids of the stone. So that's what that is.
Oh, okay, thank you. So 264 cubic feet, 264 is. So there's, what he's saying is with that, so if it's gonna empty 4 times a day, I don't quite understand the timing piece, but I would just think it should be,
Well, he said at the beginning, the fields drain 1
1
inch
inch per
in
minute.
20 minutes,
20
4 times a day.
that's weird. It's the 4 times a day. I would think, all I was looking for is, the tank is probably a 500 cubic foot tank, I would, it's a 1,200.
1,250 gallon.
Excuse me, it's 1,250.
Right.
They're gonna get, it's like, in a 3 inch rainfall, it's only gonna get half full.
Right.
Is what I got out,
That's
is what I
right.
got out of 2 or 3.
It's about half full, right?
So they're not putting it necessarily in the tank, they're putting it in the old septic system. So if it was a perforated pipe with stone around it, that's what they're draining it into. So it's like an infiltration system, what they're proposing.
That's what it looks like to me, although
Yeah,
I
I
do
agree.
think 2 says it is going into the tank, which is fine, fine. And then it can come out of the tank. So again, a 3 inch rainfall isn't gonna fill the tank. So, and then again, if it doesn't fill the tank, then you get another 3 inch rain the next day, and now the tank will almost be full, or essentially be full, And maybe that's where the 4 times a day, okay, I think that's gonna,
Work.
let's work. So let's, or he said it's gonna work, and he's the engineer, so there you go.
Well, you know, on number 3, it said something about 3-inch rainfall equals 650 cubic feet.
Where's the updated plan? This is the original plan. Is that in this pile?
No, that should be it, right there, I think, that plan, no?
I don't think so, because this one's dated 5/15. Here it is, here it is. It's attached to this letter, which we're going to put into 126. So let's just go and look and see what this plan looks like. Dead trees tagged for cutting.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, that's
43.
43 Old Bridge, so that's.
Oh, I don't, all I see is paperclip.
So we didn't get, and then I get it?
Oh, yeah, there's 43 Old Bridge, and it was clipped to this. Alright. I'm thinking, no trees on that property.
Maybe they never sent it.
All right, I don't know where his plan is. I don't know where his
We
updated
just saw it.
plan.
I thought we just had it.
Well, can look.
Well, no, it was the letter that we had.
Yeah, I know, but we need a plan for me to approve, and this plan, the one I have in the file,
Doesn't
is the
show it?
one, well, no, it's the one from last week.
Here it is. Isn't that the blue line he
No.
was talking about?
Yeah, no, that's the silt fence. This is the one from 2 weeks ago.
Okay, yeah.
Last
you're right.
revision date, 5/15/23.
So
So we're gonna just
to-
hold on for a second. Christine is just gonna go see if she can get her hands on it. So I think this is another one we will incorporate into the approval of construction sequence here. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. All right, let me clean this up. We don't need this. We don't need that. Site visit. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. 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 25 Yankee Drive. We did that one. Get rid of that. That we're gonna keep. All right. We're just on a brief pause here while the land use office goes to see if they can get their hands on that plan. I mean, I think we don't have to pause. I think we probably could get going.
Yep.
So we're gonna decide what we're gonna do when she comes back with or without the plan, so. Oh, shoot, I just ripped my agenda and messed up. All right. Now look at your second page of your agenda, I just ripped mine up.
So much at the table.
Okay, I'll get it, yeah, I'll get it.
Stretch my legs.
Trying to be neat and tidy. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna just jump over briefly 126, we're gonna wait for the land use office to come back, so let's go on to new business. I got 43 Old Bridge Road. It's activity W-23-24, so we'll get name and address for Cassandra.
Michelle Morris will call me.
Okay.
I don't remember.
All right, so let's just take a quick look at the application. So we got about 13 acres, disturbed wetland area is 0, one of my favorite numbers. Total wetlands on the property says 0. Disturbed linear feet of water course is 0, total linear feet of water course, so there must be wetlands adjacent?
We're right along the, Pickle and all that,
Okay,
so we're
yeah,
in the upland review area of that.
okay.
No, you're correct. We didn't receive the plan. We received-
I'm sorry?
Received the letter explaining the plan that we never received.
Okay, all right, well then we're just gonna
Go
quick
ahead,
jump
Sue.
back here. So, all right, so we're gonna jump back to 126 North Lake Shore Drive. The land use has confirmed that they do not have the updated plan that Mr. Gallagher was kind enough to reference in his letter. So until we have that plan,
Can't do anything.
I can't approve it, although I don't see anything that is standing in the way of approval besides having the document.
I already emailed them.
Okay, so we have from the land use office, they've emailed the applicant. As soon as we get the plan, we'll take a look at it at our next meeting. And assuming that it's everything that we say it is, again, I'm not seeing anything standing in the way, we just need the paperwork. So I'll make a motion then to continue W-23-22 to our next regularly scheduled meeting.
I'll second
All
that.
right, Bob seconds that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. All right, thank you for that. So now we're gonna go back to 43 Old Bridge Road, and Michelle's gonna tell us what this is about. Oh, here it is. You didn't.
Just to give you, I'll give you a quick, so this is a blow up of the area.
So this is a residence, right?
Yeah, so this is the whole property, this is the 13.36, or 13.66 acre property.
Okay.
So this is Old Bridge Road here, they have a shared driveway to this point, and then they come down to a house.
Okay.
They have some paths here that go all the way through very steep slopes and come all the way down to Lake Winona.
They are the strangest shaped lots over there.
Yeah, and this is the bird sanctuary, which goes
Oh,
all
okay.
the way back.
Okay.
So there's a little trail that actually cuts through their property that goes down, but they also have their own, another one that comes down.
Oh,
So, just to, so you could see it's a pretty large lot.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Very,
this is-
very steep over there.
Yes, so this is a blow up of what we're looking to do, so, because it's the Lake Winona, it's the.
So this is, this over here?
Yes, so
Okay.
that, this area
Mhm.
is blown up here, just so it's easier to see.
And this is, it's the 230 line there,
210.
right? 210,
Which
okay.
is here.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're looking to do a dock, but that's with First Light.
Right,
So what they wanna do is, we call it a barn, but based on, it's a 20 by 20 shed.
okay.
So they wanna do a shed here with a little path, and this is all earth, there's no, it's like a dirt path, so they just wanna continue with the dirt path. And then there's some existing trees in here,
Okay,
which I have some pictures of that we wanna remove. The barn is gonna be, or shed is gonna be on like solenoid tubes, so they're not,
Sonotubes.
sonotubes, yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome.
So they wanna do minimal
Excuse me.
disturbance. It's very wooded, I have color.
Like,
pictures
it's
for
these
that.
guys, right, these trees?
Yeah, I have it here too.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10-ish trees?
There's about, yeah, there's between 8 and 10. I have a little better, these are little different pictures that I took when I was out there. So most of them are dead that they wanna take down. So, these are the red tags, this one, so you can see it's a very large canopy, and I think it's just the trees that got overwhelmed. So
Mhm.
they died in the process.
Huh.
But it's a very rocky terrain in there, but, you know, there's some trees, I tried to, so this is a good picture of the trees. You can see how they're all, there's no.
On the last
Yeah,
leg, right.
And I think the homeowner is just concerned, you know, this one is dead, and these are dead, so it's, with her grandchildren being in, you know, to going down there, they wanna just.
It's a
kind
health,
of-
it's a health problem.
Make sure that
Safety,
something
safety.
doesn't fall
Right,
over.
so they
Right.
just wanna remove the dead trees,
Mhm.
and then put the barn in.
So can we get a construction sequence? You know, which starts out with, I mean, you got silt fence, obviously, but, you know, take down, you know, you can count the trees, which
Yep.
dead, you know, which are, you know, dead or, again, just a count of them?
I think it's 8 is the
Okay,
total.
okay, whatever, what, in the
Mhm.
construction sequence, right, what if it's 8 or 10, whatever, just write that down if you wouldn't mind. Then, how are they gonna do it, all by hand, how are they
They're
gonna get
doing
this?
So they're not stumping the trees, they're just cutting them to ground.
Okay.
They're not gonna remove the stumps.
That was the next question, or
Um,
one of my
and
questions, yeah.
They're doing this all by hand. It's so far from the house.
I was gonna say,
And,
it's a long
you know,
way.
Well, no, but they're gonna use a saw.
Oh, a chainsaw.
A chainsaw,
Yeah, I mean,
but
they'll
not an
have to,
excavator.
it's too big.
Right, so they're doing this all by hand.
So you're gonna haul the wood out by hand? Wow,
Well,
They're
they
kinda
might,
small, yeah.
they'll probably stack it or,
Yeah.
whatever they're gonna do with it.
okay.
I know that up further, which is out of your purview, they had a lot of, cause these are new owners of the property.
Uh-huh.
The older owners didn't really come down to the river.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of tree debris from the macroburst
Okay.
that they've been clearing up.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
they've been working on that as well, but that's further up here out
Okay.
of your.
Mhm.
All right, well, again, take down
Is
this,
this a new structure, or is it?
That's gonna be new.
yeah,
So it's, basically kayak, to store stuff
Yeah.
that they're gonna use down.
Okay.
Cause it's a long
Yeah,
walk back to
yeah.
the house.
okay,
Yeah.
so again,
Yeah,
just
just
that, you're gonna
remove
take
eight
down
trees.
8 trees, you
Mhm.
know, they're gonna be done by hand. The wood will be removed, by hand, again, you're not proposing excavators and
Yeah, there's
big,
no-
huge chippers and paths for that stuff. And then again, how you're gonna construct that?
Yeah, it's all by hand.
By hand, or just all by hand, that's
Yep.
what I'm interested
Yep.
in.
'Cause even this, for the dock, there's big boulders, so they had hired a structural engineer to just, instead of building they're gonna try to anchor it to the boulders. They're
Okay.
trying to they want it, this is very wooded, they wanna keep it as wooded and natural as possible.
Yeah,
So they don't, as little disturbance as
Yeah.
possible to do what they wanna do. They wanna keep it natural. And then, like I said, she was a very nice woman, she was just very concerned about the dead trees with the kids and
sure,
stuff,
okay.
so.
Is there a path to the dock?
The dock's not in.
The dock's not in yet.
No, when there is, will there be a path?
There'll probably, maybe a little walking trail,
Mm-hmm.
right now, this is an existing path that comes down to the water.
Oh, well, I see.
So
Well,
this-
is there gonna be a driveway there or
It's
something?
this is all natural, it's all just, I don't know, I didn't take you might be able to see it in one of my pictures. It's all,
So you're not putting concrete or stone or asphalt
Nope.
in or anything?
nope, they wanna keep it as natural as possible. It's all, I didn't get it in my picture, but it's, basically, it's this, see how it's just dirt, it's earth, that's what the path is. And I walked it all the way down, and that's what this will be too.
So, do we have to think about you got still a pretty steep grade here, you got 400 square feet, you're gonna have gutters on this thing, do anything with gutters?
I think it's just, a shed, no gutters,
Well, then,
it's very natural.
okay.
You want to verify.
How are they going to get the material for the shed down there?
They probably use, ATVs,
Put that in the
Okay.
approval.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was.
That would be a
wheelbarrows-
long walk
wheelbarrows in
bringing
hand. Well, I don't know.
building material down.
That's what
I
they
think-
used to do when they did the pyramids.
Yeah.
You know, ATVs
yes.
to them.
I
Yep,
think they use ATVs now to, to
Okay.
get back and forth.
yeah, just describe that.
Just
in the-
describe it, so
Okay.
if the neighbors call, we'll say, oh, yeah, no, that's okay, we understand that. So,
If any neighbors call, I don't know where they're calling from.
I don't
'cause
either.
There's no
You'd
one.
be surprised.
There's no one around, maybe some people see from the lake.
okay, and so no, the building doesn't have gutters, so we don't have to make note of anything that it doesn't. We don't have to confirm the negative.
What happens with water on the barn, when there's a big rain?
On
That's
the
what we're
what?
just talking about, it's just gonna
It's
flow
just gonna
off,
sheet off.
sheet off.
It's just gotta go into the land and be
Yeah.
absorbed.
Yeah, there's no gutters on it, so we're gonna
Yeah.
direct the,
Mm-hmm.
And it's.
Is there any concern that, the inside could get flooded?
No, it's like if a shed at if you have a shed at your house.
all right, and you've got a little wall you're gonna
Just a
have to
little
do.
tiny wall here, which they'll use the stones that are out here.
Are they gonna have to dig back, right, cause you've got, is that flat there, or they're gonna have to
They're
them to
gonna
do?
set it with the tubes to.
Sonotubes.
level it, the sonotubes to
Oh,
level it.
oh, so part of it will be up in the air, okay, alrighty,
Oh, well, that explains the lack of flooding in the
Right.
shed itself, if it's
Okay.
above ground.
alright, I don't see any problems with
I
it,
don't
if you
either.
get us that construction
Okay.
sequence, I think we'll be, we'll be good. And I think, again, the theme of it is just what we were talking about, what kind of equipment are you gonna be bringing down there?
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be very simple.
Do
Well,
they
that's
want
what we- that's what we
to, do
just
they
wanna
want
get
to mention
documented.
the specific trees that are going to be taken down
I think,
in the
I think
construction
if you're
sequence?
just talking about 8 trees, yeah, approximate location of the existing dead trees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
up in
mhm.
here, so I think that's okay, Dave.
And like
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
We're not
see
talking
their-
about
you could
50
see-
of them.
You could see they're dead.
Yeah,
I think they just, the canopy is so dense.
Yeah,
that they
blocks
just-
the
light,
they
you know,
just- they
right,
lost the
exactly.
light and they
Sure.
just-
Yeah.
They died.
Yeah.
Well, the
Eventually they'll
drought-
fall
The
over
drought
anyway.
isn't helping any of them.
No, it doesn't help anything.
It isn't helping anything. I was talking to my tree, not the company I use for trees, and they were saying there's, all kinds of dead ones. And the next thing, we had that funky weather.
Yeah.
They said there were a lot of trees that budded out, and then bang,
Yeah, 'cause it got so cold.
and they got cold. And she said a lot of them, the
Mhm.
buds got frozen. She says, we're not sure how many of them are gonna make it. It's a real awful situation.
Michelle, you took these pictures very recently, didn't you?
Yeah, about two or 3 weeks ago. Not
No,
too
I
long
thought it
ago.
was even before, because the sky looks a little smoky.
Oh, no, it wasn't smoky when I was out there.
Just gray.
It was just a gray day.
No, she didn't change the aperture of the camera.
No, it was before the wildfires.
It would be really funny now to see a crisp blue sky again after all this.
Rumor has it's coming.
Yeah, I'm sure it will, yeah.
Alrighty, so, I'll make a motion to,
Continue.
continue 43 Old Bridge Road to our next regularly scheduled meeting, the application is W-23-24, to our next regularly scheduled meeting, and ask the applicant to provide a construction sequence as discussed.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
You're very
Yeah.
welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so appointment of the new inland wetlands officer and duly authorized agent. So she's not with us yet, but we're going to appoint her, so I will make a motion to appoint Laura Barkowski as the duly authorized agent of the Brookfield Inland Wetlands Commission.
I'll second that.
Bob seconds that. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Motion carries unanimous.
Will she be at the next meeting?
I don't know, you'll have to ask her.
She will be on vacation.
Okay.
For the next meeting. But she'll be at the first July
Okay.
meeting that you asked for.
All right, that is,
It?
that's that. Okay, so we are at that point in our agenda. We're going to return to its agenda item number 4. It's a public hearing. So. So this is a regular meeting of the Brookfield Inland Wetlands Commission. At this point in our agenda, we have scheduled a public hearing concerning proposed amendments to the Brookfield Inland Wetlands regulations. I want to note that the changes that will be discussed here are sponsored by the Brookfield Inland Wetlands Commission. So it is not related to an application, it's not related to anyone outside of this commission. It is something that the commission itself is sponsoring. So first, let me introduce the members of the commission present here this evening. Again, my name is Sharon Fox. I act as chair of the commission. To my right, Mr. Bob Hudeman, who is the commission secretary, and to my left, Mr. Dave Frankel, who is a regular member. So we will open this public hearing by calling upon the commission secretary to read the legal notice of this hearing. So Bob, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, the Inland Wetland Commission of Brookfield, Connecticut will hold a public hearing at 7:15 p.m. at Brookfield Town Hall, room 133, on Monday, June 12th, 2023, proposed amendments to the Inland Wetland Commission per draft dated April 27, 2023. At this hearing, interested persons may appear and be heard, and written communication will be received. Said notice and a copy of the proposed text additions regarding notification of neighbors, riparian corridors are on file at the Brookfield Land Use Office. For more information, visit www.brookfield.government or call 203-775-7316 per Sharon Fox, Chairman of the Inland Wetland Commission.
Okay, thank you, Bob.
You're welcome.
The public hearing is for the purposes of accepting factual information and data bearing on the application and to allow expression of opinion by interested parties. We will read into the record any correspondence received by the commission relative to this subject. The chair, myself, will then entertain questions from the public of clarification concerning the proposed amendments to the inland wetlands regulations. We will also allow members to speak in support of the application and those who are opposed. And as you are recognized, please state your name and address each time before you speak so that your comments may be legally recorded. Again, please be assured that everyone will be given the opportunity to speak. So again, we will now ask the secretary to proceed with the reading of the correspondence. So let me help you, Bob, because we don't have any.
Okay.
And with that, I want to note that, again, this is a regulation that is sponsored by the commission. And so our meeting minutes of earlier this year when we were contemplating this, I think will very clearly document that the commission wanted to get not only the state of Connecticut deep input for this as a part of the Connecticut regulations. The commission was also very interested in gaining, advising by email, the town attorney, the town selectman, the zoning board, I think the conservation commission in the town of Brookfield, and also the Northwest Conservation Commission. And I remember I sent that, it was discussed in the meeting, and I know I've sent a follow-up email on March 28th, 2023 to, at the time, the land use office manager, who was also the wetlands enforcement manager, and asked her to do that. So we have confirmation that the email was sent to Deep. We have that. I think it's here someplace, right? We put that in here. So I just want to make note, but we did, I want to put them. Yeah, so that was dated April 27th, 2023, and it was sent to Deep Municipal Inland Wetland Regs at connecticut.gov. So that was sent. And mailed, and we do not have anything back from Deep, which is okay. I mean, they don't have to respond, it's not necessary. All we have to do is advise them. On the other matter, however, Christine and I looked, and mostly Christine looked, to see if we could find an email from the land use office to those other parties. To, again, to the selectmen, to zoning, to the Conservation Commission, to Northwest Conservation Commission, to the other one I missed, I think the attorney.
Board of Selectmen, too.
Yeah, well, we cannot find that email, so we cannot confirm that they were notified, which is okay, because we've noticed it. I don't think we're gonna close the public hearing today. I'm not gonna suggest that we close it. So I'm gonna ask the land use office to send an email with these proposed regulations and advise them, however, right, that it looks like there was inadvertently, they were not advised as we had hoped that they would be. We wanna correct that matter. Make note that there is a public hearing that is open now, and ask for their comment, any comments that they may wish to share with us. Do we want to set a date? Do we want to? I think, let's give them a month, we can
I agree.
continue. Yeah, so let's, because I
We
think
got
we're
a
gonna,
lot of things
yeah,
going
we've
on.
got,
Yeah.
and we're not trying to rush anything here. We're not trying to rush anything. So we'll ask them to provide us their input by June
No,
12th. July 12th, by July 12th, 2023. Is that before our
Do we
meeting?
wanna do the date of the first
Oh,
meeting?
then by the 10th, then by July 10th. Okay, yeah, so that gives them not quite 30 days. Okay, so that's where we stand on the, yeah, the correspondence section, so you don't have to read anything.
My God.
Okay, so, let me just talk about the, again, this is, these changes are sponsored by the commission. So we're having one public hearing, but I want to make note, there's actually two items in here, and they're not related. So the way I'd like to approach it is, let's do the first one, which is the notification. If anybody walks in here, and there's no one in the room right now who wants to ask questions or whatever, we'll give them the opportunity. And then we'll go do the second one for riparian buffers, and that way we can keep all the comments related to the notification in the notification section, and then the riparian buffer in the riparian buffer section, okay? All right, so the first change that we wanted to make has to do with the notification of adjoining property owners. When an application or an applicant will be proposing to have a disturbance to the wetland or a watercourse. Not a disturbance in the upland review area, but a disturbance to the wetland, be it a fill, be it some kind of mechanical activity, be it a crossing, be it a change in they want to change where the creek goes, or anything. And the reason and we want to have we want to have the adjoining property owners notified before the application comes to the commission. Because in my humble opinion, and the reason we're doing this is most wetlands and watercourses don't exist only on one lot.
Correct.
They usually span lots. And so they will go to many of the adjoining property owners will essentially, they won't share the wetland, but that wetland the same wetland could be on multiple lots. So the adjoining property owners, I think, have an interest in what is going on with the wetlands in the neighbors. The second thing that I always enjoy, for the few times that we have had to entertain applications where people want to negatively impact, if you will, wetlands or watercourses, when the neighbors come, they bring good information.
I agree.
So those are the driving factors in our rationale to get the notifications again before we see the application. We would confirm it. So the application also will provide the applicant with a template, which will identify, just a form letter that they can use to advise their neighbors. So that is what I would like to say about the notification. Let me ask Dave and Bob.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Yes, this is a little bit different than other notifications because usually it's simply adjacent property owners. But with this, given the way waterways work, it could be several properties over.
Could.
It's got to include everybody within a given waterway, basically.
No, right now, it's just adjacent lots.
Adjacent. The key word is adjacent.
Not, it wouldn't, for example, if someone wanted to change, and I'll make this, if someone wanted to change East Brook, for example, we're not asking them to advise every single property up and down East Brook.
Just
Do
adjacent.
we
Just
want to?
adjacent.
Do we want to define how many people to be? It should be probably more than one neighbor over.
No, we only have one neighbor over right now. Right, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, do you feel it should go farther than that?
Not now.
I don't think it's necessary. I think if it was a big deal and the adjacent property owners, saw it as a really big concern, I would think they would let the other neighbors know. So I think it's okay.
Well, do you want
with
to put
just
in a
one.
little flexibility about it, or no?
I think we need to be very definitive, because this is a pre-application requirement, and I think we need to be very specific. I'm satisfied if we got the adjacent property owners, that'd
Okay.
be all right.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so again, as I said, it will give the public a chance to weigh in. I'm looking out here. There's no
What's
one.
that gentleman here for?
That was Fran, the zoning enforcement officer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We don't have, there's no one here from the public. So again, I'll just ask, again, if anybody's listening, if you want to mail in any comments, you're welcome to do
Are
that.
we on Zoom? Could they pick us up on Zoom?
You can't do multiple
No,
things,
sure.
yeah. So we don't have anybody to ask for questions of clarification. We don't have anybody to ask for opinions pro or opinions con.
But you want to keep this open for another?
We're gonna
let's just
continue,
keep it
yeah,
open.
we're gonna
Okay.
continue it. So that is the first the first change to the wetlands regulations that we are proposing in this public hearing. So now we'll move on to the second one. And the second one is about riparian corridors for every watercourse in the town of Brookfield. Everything from the Still River down to the smallest stream, you know, those, and there are so many of them in Brookfield. Some of them have been, you know, developed around and over and through and are not in great shape, but there's a lot of them in Brookfield that are, just haven't been disturbed. The properties, you know, that are adjacent to them, and they're all in really, really great shape. So what we're after here with riparian, the riparian corridor protection is to say, what Mother Nature has put around that water course should stay. And I will go into the 35 feet in a moment or so, but that's the essence of it, is that what Mother Nature has put there, there should be a buffer there that
preserve it.
it shouldn't be changed.
Right.
And the regulation does allow for, number one, you can change it if you're proposing to put a crossing over it, right? You have to do that. You know, you can't keep it the same if you gotta put a crossing. And it also allows the commission.
Oh, excuse me, Karen.
Yeah.
Sharon. There are many types of crossings, and I'll give you, and I'll tell you what.
Any crossing, any crossing.
Well, for example, I walk over on Gursky, and there's a
Okay.
crossing that's on a suspended bridge between the trees.
Yeah,
Now, it doesn't hit the ground at all.
right.
So, would that require an inland wetland? It's on trees, it's not drilled into the trees, it doesn't hit the ground?
I wouldn't think so, it doesn't hit
Okay,
the
well,
ground.
that's why I wanted to
Oh,
clarify.
sorry, if you mean, I meant any type of crossing. I was thinking just open box culverts or.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
all right,
no, I wasn't
okay,
thinking
I'm
about
sorry.
something slung over the
Oh,
top.
okay,
yeah.
I always thought you were, I was thinking of like trails and paths, you know, people going across bridges and things of that nature, when you said crossings.
Yeah, because I wasn't thinking about that, because that doesn't, that
Right,
doesn't
that doesn't go to the
disturb
ground,
any
right,
wetlands,
exactly.
it doesn't.
Right,
So these are only things that would disturb
the ground.
the
Well,
ground.
we should put that
and the-
into
it
your
is,
record then.
It is.
Yep.
So we're given some, you know, obviously people need the opportunity to disturb the riparian buffer or corridor, to put the crossing in, not over. And then also, it's given the commission an opportunity to say, all right, what you have is what you have, but if you're proposing to make, a lot of times, there could be, we ran into this once a couple years ago, people had put grass right down to the water course, and that had happened decades before. And that doesn't provide the shade protection, you know, to the water course.
Correct.
So the regulations as they are.
Fertilizer and all the stuff
Right.
about that, yeah.
So the regulation allows for, if that applicant says, look, we want to put some trees in there, can we get a little consideration over here for something?
Yeah, trade-off.
A little give for a get,
Right,
right?
right.
So that in the end, the wetlands are, it's a net gain for the water course.
Right.
So there is a little, there is language in there that would give the commission
Some flexibility.
some flexibility. So, as we were writing them, I want to make note that as we were influenced by a number of publications. We were influenced by something called Living in Harmony with Streams, which is a citizen's handbook to how streams work. This is from the Friends of the Winooski River, which is up in New Hampshire and Vermont, I think. We were influenced by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Natural Resources Conservation Service, called for management of riparian areas and riparian buffers throughout the NRCS. We were influenced by what we read from the USDA publications, which are available online from forest buffers, and then also from a number of publications from the EPA, specifically one called Riparian Buffer Width, Cover, and Effectiveness. And those documents, particularly the last one, talk about the distances. And, you know, the reality is, if you don't want anything to go into that river, if you don't want any pesticides going in that river, or any salt or whatever, you're talking about not making any changes for like 200 feet. Which would be grand. but is not practical. So the publication that I just referenced said, you know, you can get adequate, there is some level of protection in a 35-foot buffer.
Mhm.
And that's where the 35-foot
Could
buffer
you,
came
could one
from.
make it larger if one chose to?
You could make it 50.
I'm just, I'm
Yeah,
not
you
thinking
could.
about being unreasonable, I'm just,
Yeah, you could make it whatever you wanted. I think you have to be careful, though, if you start talking about like 200 feet,
No, no,
now
it
you'd be
wouldn't be, yeah.
talking about like takings.
yeah, why not?
Why don't we say something about 35 feet, but possible exceptions
Well,
due to
No, I wouldn't do that.
topography?
I wouldn't do
I
that.
wouldn't
I
do
would
that,
just
no.
say 35 feet. We can
That's
do
it.
exceptions with that language that I referred to,
Okay.
whatever, right? I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking. If there's something very specific or kind of unique about that existing 35 feet, where the applicant or in collaboration with us can make the water course cleaner, you know, maybe reduce the pollutants, keep the shade on these water courses, which is one of the things I should have mentioned, is very critical as the average temperatures warm, you know, in Connecticut. The average water temperatures are on the increase, and if we start exposing,
Well, you also got higher evaporation.
you
too,
get
don't you?
higher evaporation, exactly, you know, the water temperatures go up, the little fish that live in there, and the
Toads and
salamanders and
everything,
the
right.
frogs, and all these people that live there, suddenly there are higher temperatures, that could be a problem, that's gonna reduce the oxygen levels, you know, in streams, so that's really, I think, one of the things I'm interested in with this 35-foot buffer. If there's trees in there now, let's try and keep them in there, and
I
if there
agree.
isn't trees, this is what you were, I think, referring to, with the regulation, we can collaborate with them to say, okay, can we get some trees over here, and maybe you get something over here,
Mhm. That's,
okay?
for the record, could you define riparian buffer, just for the record right now? You can
Yes.
do it better than I, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
well, a riparian corridor, a riparian corridor, again, this is from the USDA and the EPA, it's the land within 100 feet of a water course and 50 feet from an intermittent water course.
Okay.
Okay, so corridor,
That's just for the
yeah,
record.
and that would be one of the definitions.
Mhm.
So again, it says the project includes activities or disturbance to the riparian corridor, the application would provide the following: a description of the trees that are there, if there's any vernal pools that might be, you know, in that,
Why
know,
don't you define
Yeah.
vernal pool also?
we don't have to, because that's a state of Connecticut.
Yeah.
That's a state
Right.
of
Okay,
Connecticut
well, it's
definition.
just
We don't
anybody
have to.
listening to this,
Oh,
meeting
well, we can do
afterwards.
that. Vernal pool is it's a body of water that you usually see in the spring. It's
seasonal.
seasonal. It's seasonal water, and it's a tremendously important habitat for frogs and salamanders and newts and the animals that eat
correct.
them. And vernal pools usually exist only in the springtime, and they are weather and precipitation dependent. And it's one of the things, and then they go away. So if you have a Connecticut soil scientist who is out wandering around in the summertime, he or she, with their experience, needs a sharp eye to be able to identify where there likely is a vernal pool in the springtime. Because if you see it in the summer or the wintertime, the water's not there. So it's one of the questions I always ask, you know, and when did you go out? So that is the essence of the language for the riparian buffer, riparian corridor update. So again, we don't have anyone in the audience, but still, I will ask, anybody have any questions of clarification? You guys have more comments? No? Anybody want to speak in favor? Again, there's nobody here. Anybody want to speak opposed? Okay, I think we've covered the gist of it.
Yep, you're
yeah,
good.
Yep. I mean, Michael is not here, so I was planning to continue it anyways.
Yeah,
We want to give the land use office the opportunity to get the notifications out to the interested parties as we had defined them. So, I'll make a motion we're going to keep the public hearing open and ask that it be, I don't think we'd
as opposed to
Continue
the
it.
next meeting, maybe 2 meetings up, or is that pushing it?
Well, I think let's put it on the agenda. If someone comes to
They can make a comment.
Yeah, they can make a
Mhm.
comment, I think,
Okay.
so let's keep it on the agenda. So I'll make a motion that we keep the public hearing open and continue it at our next regularly scheduled meeting.
I'll second that.
Any
Yep.
discussion?
No.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. All right, oh shoot, I forgot to do that. No, that's all right. I forgot to do that.
What did you forget?
I'll get it the next time.
Okay.
I'll get it the next time. All right, now, what did I do with my,
That's mine.
that's yours.
Don't touch my stuff.
Don't
No.
touch my stuff. Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right, let's get this back in the file. All right, so that's the public hearing.
And you marked what you're gonna include the next time?
Yeah,
Okay,
as
yeah,
an
don't-
email. It's not directly related to this, but it's kind
Okay,
of
yep,
related to
yep.
the whole idea. So we are gonna, the next thing is the, those beaver dam removal guidelines. Christine and I did a couple of little, I think they're mostly editing changes. The guidelines that we had didn't, just needed to be sort of tuned a little bit to look more like regulations and not suggestions.
Mhm.
So Christine and I just changed the wording around a little bit so it could be more easily incorporated in as a regulation. And I think we've held off scheduling that because we want Laura to get an opportunity to get into it and get it noticed correctly and get the notes off to DEEP and all the other interested parties. So it is on our list of things to do. It is an action item. And as soon as Laura and Christine get a chance to do all the things that they need to do, they will let us know, and then we will set the public hearing date for beaver dam removal guidelines. All right, that's gonna take us, we don't have any correspondence, review of the previous minutes. So first, Cassandra, I wanna say I thought they were great. I really appreciate you picked up on so many of the key things that we talked about. So I just wanted to thank you for that. I do have a couple little things, which I think are mostly just word processors getting ahead of ourselves. On page 2, item C, down that very last sentence, it said Chair Fox stated the importance of submitting a rainfall update. It's not a rainfall update, it's an inspection report, okay? So if you could just replace the words rainfall update with inspection report. And then the next thing is on page 3, it's 5B. Christine will get a kick out of this. And 5B, kind of in the middle of the sentence that starts, Chair Fox pointed out that this is in fact it's not 6, and it's a 5, right? Wasn't that the whole?
I thought it was 6.
It's 6 now, it's not 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was 6.
It is 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
so
yeah.
that stays.
I put that actually in there.
Oh, okay. All right, I thought there was, okay, it doesn't matter. Then the next one is, this is just a typo. It's almost to the bottom, it says the 440 line is not showing fully on the map. She also would like to have placed on the map where it's not liter, it's leader, like gutters, leaders for gutters. Not liters in volumes of.
Or volume, right?
So,
Oh, yes, okay.
so other than that, the minor little,
That was pretty good.
minor little things.
Picked up on that.
All right, you wanna approve them?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes of the last meeting, dated, wait a minute,
May 22nd.
May 22nd, 2023 at 7 PM. I'd like to make a motion we approve those meetings.
With
with-
the changes.
With
to
the
it.
changes that was mentioned
Okay.
just now.
Second.
Dave seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Informal discussion? All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, I made the motion to adjourn. Bob seconds that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Jen, go with that.
We are adjourned.
Turn off the mics.
That's a good woman.
And then go
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.